What if the biggest betrayal in hip-hop didn't unfold in a recording studio, but instead in the quiet shadows of a hotel hallway captured by a camera no one was supposed to see? Just when fans thought they had a handle on the tangled relationship between Remy Ma, Papoose, and Fat Joe, a piece of footage has surfaced that threatens to upend everything. This isn't just a rumor or a messy breakup. It's a secret that stretches back more than a decade, one that could unravel the trust and loyalty hip-hop's most celebrated couple was built on. It all starts with a single frame of video, taken from a Miami hotel's security system. At precisely 2:17 a.m., two figures slip past the lobby cameras. One is unmistakably Fat Joe, and the other is Remy Ma. The hotel check-in records show the reservation was under the name Joseph Cartagena, better known worldwide as Fat Joe. But right next to his name was Reminisce McKirmy Ma's legal name. It was shocking enough seeing them together alone, but what sent the internet into overdrive was how this footage came to light. It wasn't leaked by some gossip blog or a blackmailing hacker. According to sources close to the situation, it was discovered by Papoose himself. The story goes that Papoose, the husband who stood by Remy through years of prison and public scrutiny, stumbled upon the footage while cleaning up an old iPad. The device was one Remy had used during her parole, mostly for writing lyrics and recording notes, but buried in its files was something that shouldn't have been there. A grainy security video showing Remy and Joe disappearing into a hotel hallway late at night, with the timestamp reading April 3, 2011, and the file name ominously labeled 7th Floor Miami. As soon as word of this footage leaked, questions started piling up faster than answers. Was there a secret affair between Remy and Joe? Did this happen before Remy married Papoose or after? Why had this video stayed hidden for so many years, without a hint of scandal until now? To even begin understanding, we have to rewind to the early 2000s. Remy Ma and Fat Joe's bond began during the Bronx's fiercest hip-hop years. They were both members of Terror Squad and to the public. They looked like siblings to artists who always had each other's backs in an unforgiving industry. But whispers from those who spent time behind the scenes told a different story. A former security guard remembered seeing Joe hovering around Remy backstage at events like Summer Jam, never straying far. He recalled thinking they looked more like a couple than colleagues. Remy's status wasn't ordinary. She was Big Pun's hand-picked protege. After Pun's tragic death, Fat Joe took her under his wing, offering her connections, resources, and according to some insiders, something much more intimate. By 2004, they had created one of the biggest hip-hop hits of the decade. Lean Back, and their chemistry wasn't just evident in their music. Studio engineers and crew members said the two would emerge from long sessions hand in hand, only to snap apart if anyone walked in. Still, no one dared to question Fat Joe's actions. He was the boss, and Remy stayed loyal. Then, in 2007, Remy's career came crashing down when she was arrested and eventually sentenced to 8 years in prison. This was the moment Papoose stepped forward. He married Remy during her incarceration, appeared in every interview, and defended her fiercely. But while Papoose was being celebrated as the definition of loyalty, something else was happening quietly in the background. Leaked visitor logs from Rikers Island show Fat Joe visited Remy several times between 2008 and 2009. He used different aliases, stayed out of the media's eye, and spent hours inside, according to staff. One guard described Joe as serious and focused during those visits, not the loud persona people saw on stage after Remy's release. An interviewer asked her who she missed most while behind bars. Remy didn't give a name. She simply said, "Some people surprised me with how much they cared," and shot a knowing look that said more than her words ever could. The moment slipped by unnoticed at the time, but it feels very different in light of what's happening now. Fast forward to the present day, Papoose, going through an old iPad, stumbles upon the hotel footage. In it, Joe and Remy walk into a Miami hotel room together in the middle of the night with no entourage, no cameras, no reason to be there alone. A tech expert verified the footage's metadated, hadn't been doctored. The file was authentic, straight from the hotel's own security system, and the time and location matched everything perfectly. Instead of confronting Remy immediately, Papoose took a different route. He stayed silent, processing what he had seen, and started quietly contacting people who might have answers. One of his first calls reportedly went to someone who had been around Remy and Joe since the early Terror Squad days. Remy's former stylist, though she asked to remain anonymous, what she shared flipped the entire situation on its head. She claimed Joe was never just a mentor, he was obsessed. He'd cancel sessions if Remy wasn't available. He treated her like she was more than an artist, like she was the only person who mattered. She also recalled a night in 2006 after a show in Puerto Rico, while the crew returned to the hotel. Joe and Remy were spotted together on a private yacht long after midnight. The stylist said it wasn't business, it looked personal. Eventually, Papoose decided he had to hear it straight from the source. He approached Fat Joe privately, avoiding a public spectacle. But when he asked Joe about the video, Joe's response wasn't what anyone would expect. He didn't deny anything, he didn't act shocked. He simply told Papoose, "It ain't what you think, Paput. You don't want to go down that road." That answer raised even more suspicion than it resolved. From there, Papoose dove into full-on investigation mode. He sifted through old messages, emails, and even obscure accounts tied to Remy's past. That's when he found a 2011 email sent to a private Gmail account with Remy's old nickname. The message read, "Miami was different. We can't keep playing like this didn't happen. You know I'd do anything for you. J." Though the email wasn't signed with a full name, its metadata traced back to a Bronx IP address connected to a Terror Squad studio. As soon as the news started leaking to the public, the Bronx's rumor mill fired up. Underground podcasts dropped cryptic hints about a legendary NYC rapper's loyalty being tested. A now-deleted tweet from someone claiming insider knowledge of the footage sent Twitter into meltdown, sparking hashtags like #JoeandRemy and #PapDeservesBetter. On Reddit, fans pieced together timelines, analyzing every photo and old interview for clues. Meanwhile, reports emerged that Papoose had quietly moved into his guest house to process everything. As rumors swirled, Remy stayed silent on social media. No clarifications, no denials. Just regular posts of selfies and motivational quotes, like, "Real love stands the test of time." Fat Joe's usually chatty persona disappeared completely. He didn't go live, he didn't tweet, nothing. That silence said more than words ever could. Then came a twist that no one saw coming. A fan unearthed an old DVD from 2005 with behind-the-scenes footage of a Terror Squad interview. In it, Joe sat close to Remy and said, "I'll ride for her till the wheels fall off. That's my heart." People once saw it as a sweet brother-sister comment, but now, it felt like a hidden clue in plain sight. Another clip started circulating, a decade-old podcast, where a laughing, slightly drunk Joe told hosts, if Remy ever left Pap, she'd come home where she belongs. What once sounded like a harmless joke suddenly felt like a confession. As the investigation deepened, whispers emerged of a second, more damning video. The file, labeled Room 714_full, reportedly captured what happened inside the hotel room after Remy and Joe entered. According to insiders, the footage wasn't explosive in a dramatic sense. There were no arguments or loud admissions, but the quiet conversation it contained was far worse. The video started with faint voices and awkward silences until Joe said, "You know what this is?" and Remy replied softly, "It was never supposed to go this far." Those 10 words removed every shadow of doubt. Papoose, sources say, turned off the iPad and walked out of the room. Hours passed before he returned, but by then the damage had spread. Someone leaked that he'd seen the footage, and almost immediately social media exploded. Blogs teased the story with vague headlines, gossip channels started connecting dots. Even major hip-hop radio stations dropped hints about a brewing scandal between two Bronx legends. Behind the scenes, panic set in. Fat Joe's team scrambled to remove clips from the internet before they went viral. Remy wiped her social media of recent posts and replaced everything with a single word: sorry. Papoose posted nothing new, but his last update, a simple text reading, "Loyalty is only real when it's tested," took on a devastating new meaning, and then came the bombshell. An anonymous producer claimed the hotel footage wasn't just stored on that old iPad. Papoose had made backups. One of those backups allegedly landed in the hands of a production company now developing a 4-part docuseries tentatively titled Remy and Joe: The Real Story. Streaming services are rumored to be circling, and behind-the-scenes attorneys are issuing NDAs. Brand deals are being canceled, and once loyal friends are ghosting phone calls. This isn't a small scandal anymore. It's threatening to rewrite the entire narrative of 3 careers. Remy Ma was the queen who rose from the ashes of prison, Fat Joe was the Bronx godfather who put everyone on, and Papoose was the symbol of unwavering devotion. Now, all 3 are tangled in a story of betrayal, hidden love, and secrets stretching across nearly 20 years. Reports say Papoose has moved out of their shared home and into a small apartment in Midtown Manhattan. He's been seen performing alone at low-key open mic nights, his wedding ring conspicuously absent. Remy hasn't offered any explanation beyond that single apology, and Joe continues to keep his silence, though insiders claim he's preparing a live session that could either end the speculation or blow it wide open. The question isn't just whether this happened, but how it stayed hidden for so long. How many people knew? How many were paid or pressured to keep it quiet? And if the rumored docuseries shows everything, including the full hotel room conversation, what will it reveal about these hip-hop icons? This isn't just gossip anymore, it's a reckoning. For fans who believed in the myth of Remy and Papoose' perfect love, for artists who saw Fat Joe as the ultimate mentor, and for an entire culture that celebrated their loyalty, it feels like a betrayal that runs deep. So what do you think? Is this an isolated mistake, or a secret that's been festering in plain sight? Did Papoose truly not know, or did he choose to ignore the signs? And if the documentary drops, how will the culture respond to seeing receipts that change the story forever? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because this story is far from over, and the next leak could change everything.